Yeah, boy, what it do, DCS Crew? It's Carlos back at it again. Today, we're going to go ahead and check out a knife from Hinderer Knives, made right here in the USA. You know that horse is iconic. And yeah, so that being said, there's a couple things I really like about it, and there's a couple things I don't. We're going to talk about both right after the intro, so that we can talk a little bit more in depth on my review of the Hinderer Knives Jurassic. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I mean, first and foremost, I gotta tell you, when it comes to this particular knife, there was a lot that came into actually picking this knife up. This, just so you know, this is the Jurassic, as you see right here. This is the spear point. It's a stonewash blade. It's got the tri-way system. This is the Gen 2. It has the blue and black G10, and it also has the bronze anodized frame, as you can see, both the inner frame here as well as the frame lock version side, as well as the little cover that's there, and the pocket clip, which is not deep carry, but you know, that's neither here nor there. You really don't need to be deep carrying something like this. But before I go ahead and get into it, let's go ahead and open up the box and show what you actually get when you pick up a Hinderer. Okay, so as you can see, the box is somewhat plain. They just slap on their decal here, a little decal over here that says it was a 2018 Blade Show's most innovative American design. All right, and it's the Jurassic 3.5. It has a little bit about the information and specs on the knife. You get your tactical peanuts. You get your tri-way pivot system, which is something that was actually new with the second gen, and that actually comes with phosphor bronze washers. Got those metal washers right there, and you have right in the back there those Teflon Don washers, baby. And aside from that, you have your certificate of authenticity, I guess you could say. It shows it was hand assembled and tuned by Sean. He does a lot of stuff over there, so yeah, shout out to Sean. And of course, Hinderer went ahead and sent out a decal and put it in here. Now, my thing with Hinderer, I mean, I've always wanted to own a Hinderer, and that desire actually goes back quite some time. I mean, there's a lot of flex for people when they pick up Hinderers and they have their XM18s, they got their full track, their half track, the fire attack. You know, there's a lot of really badass Hinderers there. If I'm not mistaken, there's even a Hinderer Balisong. So you can imagine my surprise when I went to their booth at Blade Show, and I'll go ahead and put that video at the end of this one so you can see it once this is over. But you can imagine my surprise when I went over to Blade Show. I'm like, man, I gotta get there early so I can go ahead and see some of the models that they have. And I saw a bunch of different ones off camera. I saw the XM18, the bigger version, I think is the 24, the fire attack, you know, like I said, the half and the full track, and that sort of thing. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna be honest, I don't like these knives. I really didn't. They were chunky and they just didn't feel ergonomically comfortable in my hand. And then Taylor, one of the representatives for Hinderer, actually told me, hey, well, look, you know, we got this knife here. I don't know if you've checked it out. It's the Jurassic. This is the Gen 2, the tri-way pivot, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. And she showed it to me, and I was like, oh, holy crap. This thing felt so good in the hand. I gotta tell you, right off the back, I'll tell you, ergonomically speaking, okay? When I hold this in my hand, it melts into my hand, even though it's the thick boy, okay? I'm not used to that. It melts into my hand. This is something that I feel that I could go to freaking war with, and I could probably come out winning if I know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, if I do the work, you know, the Jurassic will do the rest. So talk about a few pros here. A few pros, I mean, let's face facts. Hinderer's designs and his knives, I mean, they're very well known throughout the industry, whether you're in the US or outside. And it's not easy to get one. So to be able to get one like this and, you know, really work on it, you know, really actually own it and EDC it and that sort of thing, it's a great feeling, because you're like, finally, I freaking picked one up, you know? And aside from that, I mean, the action on this is great. It's on bearings right now, because that's, you know, one of the options that you get from the tri-way system. And while it's not the most, you know, drop shutty of knives, I mean, for it being a Hinderer knife, it's actually not quite bad. And you'll know that it has the tri-way pivot system when it has that little T there, I guess, with the 3 circles. That's how you know. And you can go ahead and swap that to tip down if you're a jabroni, but obviously I'm not a jabroni, so tip up it is. I immediately swapped that. Blue and black G10 on the hardware. I mean, it just kind of give you a quick, you know, 360. It's going to be here. That's the front. You got the booty. You got the frame lock side. And you have the front. And let me go ahead and show you the lockup on my version so you can see that. There you go. All right. And now, steel on this one is 20 CV, and you can actually see it shows that right there. Okay. Beautiful stonewash blade, and I'm really digging the spear point. It has a nice, light shine to the edge, because I've been, you know, using it a little bit. But man, this thing screams attitude. It's pretty unassuming when you look at it. It's not like a crazy knife, but man, this thing will put in some work. Now, we'll go into the pros first. Like I said, pros, fits great in the hand. I'm not really a big chunky knife person, but this, it feels really good in the hand. The fact that it has these scales with this kind of patterning, this texture to it, oh, so good. The length of the knife, and then you just have like kind of like this sharpening choil here. It's just right. I think it's great for the design. I'm really digging it. You know, the action, it flies out nice and smooth. I haven't had any issues with that. Feels good in the pocket. It doesn't feel too heavy considering it's a pretty chunky dude. I mean, I will admit that. And I mean, it's a bit of a looker. I won't lie. You know, I've had pictures and stuff with it, and people see that it's a Hinderer and they automatically like it, because some people are really big Hinderer fanboys, you know. And you can't really find these, you know, when they drop, they go out of stock. Even the scales, I mean, they're expensive, but they go out of stock really freaking quick. You can't find a lot of the parts for this. So aside from that, another pro would be the customer service. So I ran into the people at Blade, like I told you. I was interested in checking out this knife, and long story short, by the end of the show, I was unable to go back to the booth and actually pick up the knife. I really wanted it. So when I left the show, I reached out to Hinderer's Instagram afterwards, and the person that answered me was actually Taylor, the customer service person who actually helped me off camera while I was at the booth. Super nice. She's their IG person, by the way. And she's like, yeah, we still have it if you're interested. And I was like, oh my gosh, heck yeah. Like, you haven't even put it on the site. Like, I'll take it right now. Just, you know, invoice me and I'll go ahead and get it. So I went ahead and I bought it. It was a couple $100. I'm not gonna lie, you know, these things are 400 plus. I think in total I'm about 450 in with this knife, and don't tell my girlfriend, because yeah, she's gonna kill me. But I had to have one, and when I got it, it felt just as good as the day I went ahead and I picked it up. So just as far as a size comparison, let me go ahead and show a couple of other things next to it so you can see just how big this actually is while I continue talking about their team. Their customer service people were super nice, because when I actually picked this up, it didn't include the tri-way, you know, the other options, like I showed you, the washers. And I reached out to them. They immediately put it in the mail and they sent it out to me, which I thought was really nice. Now, as far as comparison, let me go ahead and line up the pivots here so you can see what the difference is. This is the Kaiser Rapids. That's a Carlos Elsner design. Really badass. And this is the BK40 from K-Bar, done in conjunction with Ethan Becker. So you can see it's a pretty big dude, and he's pretty chunky too. Whoa, excuse me. And he's pretty chunky too. You know, feels good in the hand. But I'm gonna be honest, even with that, the swell on this doesn't compare to this. I gotta be honest with you. And let's see here, what else we got? We have the Benchmade Bug Out, which is relatively close in size. I won't lie, just a little bit under, I guess. And a little bit smaller, and then slightly larger, you have the Kershaw Bare Knuckle, and there you go. All right, so I went through the pros, right? You know, it fits great in the hand. The ergos were awesome. top tier steel. You know, you get CPM 20 CV, USA made. You know, you got the name Hinderer is synonymous with a lot of, you know, good quality USA made knives. They sell out very, very quickly. So if you're able to get one, typically people that buy these, they keep them or they upgrade them and they really use them. So I like that about the company, and their customer service is second to none. Super nice people. Even up until today, if I have any questions, I reach out to them on Instagram or, you know, Facebook and their Hinderer, you know, their group, and they were super, super helpful. Tri-way pivot system is great. I really have no big issues with that. And those are the pros. Now, the cons. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into the cons now. The cons, like I said, I spent enough on this for my chick to get really, really pissed at me, and I'd have probably had to buy her something nice if she knew that I had this. And I'm actually saying this really low because she's upstairs and there's a paper thin layer between where I'm at right now and where she is. And if she hears about this, I'm in deep shit. So don't say I didn't warn you if I end up missing, because you probably heard me say how much it costs. And aside from that, you know, to be able to upgrade this, if I want to go ahead and substitute the scales, they're very hard to find. And if I'm gonna end up picking one up, I'm gonna end up paying the cost of probably something like this just for some scales for this, which kind of sucks, you know. And that's like just the G10 or the micarta ones. If I'm gonna get the titanium ones, they're going for like 200 bones on the Hinderer website. That's gonna be a hard pass for me. And speaking of a hard pass for me, one big issue that I have is that you got three types of screws here. You have the body screws that are right here, okay? And obviously here, and over here you got Torx, you know, or whatever the hell that is. And you have actual like Phillips head screws over here, okay? You got them over here too, so you can go ahead and adjust the clip. You have a flathead screw over here, but in order to be able to use that, you need a proprietary screw. I mean, you need to proprietary tool that Hinderer provides, which is like another 80 bucks. So I'm gonna call this one. This is the Paygate USA knife. Okay, I hate Paygate in video games. I hate Paygates in, you know, apps, and I hate Paygates when it comes to knives. I especially hate when you have to have a special tool to be able to take down a knife. I had a ZT0609 that needed an STP, which is their pivot tool, okay? Because it had that see-through pivot, and you needed a special tool to be able to open that. I hate this. I hate the fact that with, you know, with knives like Microtex, you have to have that issue too. I have an Exa set, and I barely, you know, carry it because of that. I like being able to take down knives. And, you know, unlike them, there are companies that are from the US that have stuff made with standard Torx bits so that you can go ahead, standard Torx sizes, so T6, T8, that sort of thing, so you can actually take it apart if you need to, work on it, and put it back together. If I'm gonna get a freaking knife that comes with a tri-way pivot system, what good is giving me this with a knife that costs damn near $450 if I gotta pay another 80 bucks for a tool to be able to swap them out for this, which still is gonna give me as good of an action as what it has right now. What the hell is the freaking point? I'll tell you what the point is. The point is that, you know, this is US manufacturing. This is how he wants to do it, and I applaud him because there are people who actually buy it. I haven't swapped it because, unfortunately, I'm not gonna pay the extra for the tool. And I'm glad that this came nicely centered and that the action is good to go. And every time I've used it, it hasn't been an issue, because I'd be really pissed if I paid this much money for a knife that was flawed and that I couldn't take apart unless I paid more money for it, for the tool. It's just, I'm sorry, that's just a con of all cons. And I said what I said, don't at me. So, and that's really the biggest issue that I have with this. You have, you know, the tool being the issue, okay? You have the different types of, you know, screws and stuff that are, you know, that you have to go through with different parts to be able to take it apart. And to be able to get upgrades for this, not only is the market pretty scarce, but when things do come into the market, they're very expensive to be able to purchase. I mean, yeah, it's a premium product, but still. And that's my big issue with it. Now, the knife itself, when it's working, when I need to use it, I love it. It's beautiful. It's aesthetically a knife that I'm really attracted to, but it's also a knife that puts the freaking work in when you need it, and it just feels like, seriously, this is probably one of the best, like as far as USA made designs, one of the most comfortable knives that I've ever actually put in my hands. I was sold from the moment that Taylor put this in my hand, and it's not because Taylor's cute, because she is, I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty cute, but this is a great ergonomically feeling knife, and dare I say it's a better knife ergonomically than the XM18. And with 3.5 inches of blade, I mean, you're pretty much going to be able to get anything you want done with this knife. But outside of that, I'm not a fan because of the paygate bullshit. I hate that, and I hate that they've standardized the freaking the hardware on this. Make it so that people can go ahead and make it their own. Most of the other U.S. companies do it. I mean, Microtech wants to be the lame duck out there. I guess they're the Hinderer automatics when it comes to, proprietary hardware and tools and stuff. But at least with this, they give you a system to be able to go ahead and take it apart and swap it with something else so you can have, something that won't gunk up the bearings in case you have to use it for really crazy work, and you can go ahead and put these washers in there. But how the hell are you going to do that if you don't pay extra money for that? And then honestly, if you want a full titanium version, shell out another $200 for the freaking titanium hardware on top of the $80 that you're going to have to spend on the proprietary tool. Okay, now granted, I'm sure that there's people out there that say, well, bro, you paid $450 for a knife, what's another $280? Because I mean, what are you, poor? No, I'm not a poor. Trust me, I pay a mortgage, I own both of my cars, and I support my girl and my dog. Trust me. Aside from the fact that I'm doing this channel and I have other hobbies and rabbit holes that I get into, I like knives. And I like for something when I purchase it, that I purchase it and I can take it and run. And I can't do that with this. It's pay gated. It's really what it is. Okay. And that's the issue. And by the way, just a quick tip. If you see this, this is not a thumb stud. It's an over travel stop. You see that little nub there? Right up here? Probably can see it. Yeah. It's an over travel stop. So if you try to use this like it is a thumb stud, what's going to happen is you're going to put so much pressure that it's going to rip the freaking skin off of this thing, and you're going to be bleeding out of your thumb. Don't ask me how I know. I actually tried that at Blade Show, and I screwed up my hand really bad. But that being said, this is my review on the Hinderer Knives Jurassic. A great knife, one of my most comfortable knives in the hand, one of the more expensive knives in my collection. Beautiful knife, executed extremely well. I mean, I think it's a better knife than the XM18, which is a great seller for him. The full track, the half track, the fire tack, the XM24. I mean, whatever the hell you want to throw at this, I would say that it would be an argument that I could make that it is better than all of them. It really is, because I tried them all in the hand, and for me, this was just the most. It just felt right. It just felt right. Now, if you own a Hinderer, which one do you like? Let me know what you think in the comments. And just remember, guys, you guys have been great. This is the end of the video. And my thing on this is, if you like Hinderer and you want to go ahead and support a US company, by all means, pick up a damn Jurassic. It's a great knife. But my issue with this is that it's pay gated. And yeah, I can't get around that, bro. I'm sorry. I keep talking about it, and it bothers me. And this is the reason why it pains me to do this review, because I've had this knife for a while, and I've thought about what I wanted to say, and I just figured, you know what, I'm just gonna go off the cuff and I'm gonna tell you how I feel. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Those are my opinions on the Jurassic. This is a 3.5. This is Jurassic Gen 2. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and hit me up on my Instagram at dailycarrysolutions or dailycarrysolutions@gmail.com, which is my official email address. I will be at SHOT Show 22, which is going to be in Vegas on January 6th. Well, excuse me, the 18th through the 21st. We will be there. I don't care if I gotta wear a freaking mask to get in there. I'm gonna get you guys the inside scoop on as many companies as possible with my media partner Eric from the Outer Limitless. But that being said, guys, just remember, whether it is the Hinderer Jurassic or something, like a cheap little beater like this guy right here, the Becker BK40. Just remember, guys, if you EDC, think of DCS. I've gone ahead and posted some videos, including that one of the Hinderer booth that I talked to you about during Blade Show 2021. Go ahead and check that out. Let me know what you think. And if you are not a subscriber, what the hell are you doing, man? Hit that freaking subscribe button. And hopefully I'll see you next time. In the meantime, peace.